Hey folks, today I want to talk about Walmart's purchase limit on Pokemon cards and what I think about it. It doesn't really seem to be working all that great. As you can see here, I've put up some of my recent mail day pickups. In the background here, you may have seen these cards before in a prior video, and ignore the pin and the screw, I'll explain that later. Now, before we really get into it, I just want to remind you that we have a PSA 8 Dark Charizard holographic giveaway coming up on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. It'll be in a future video. So what in the world am I talking about? Back in November, Walmart actually implemented a 5-item per person purchase limit, both at the point of sale and with customer service for Pokemon cards. I think what they were trying to do is actually give folks a chance to get cards, and from my observations, it really hasn't been working. So I live kind of far out in the country, but we have a number of Walmarts in my general vicinity, I'll say within an hour. And this weekend I did a couple runs to different Walmarts. Every single Walmart I went to, there was absolutely no Pokemon cards on the shelf. What this tells me is scalpers somehow are still getting around that 5 per person purchase limit. They figured out some way to hack the system. Now, I have no idea how they're actually doing this. Maybe they're using different credit cards, going outside, putting a hat on and coming back through checkout. I don't know. But scalping is a major problem when even out in the middle of the country, like country Walmarts in Virginia, you still can't find a single pack of anything on the shelves. Now, the best guess I have is, the Discord servers where people track restocks. People are finding out when a store actually gets cards as soon as they come off the truck, as soon as the MJ Holdings persons puts them out on the shelf. And I'm guessing, each of these stores probably has some employee that's supplying this information. I mean, this is just a wild guess at this point, but there has to be some kind of money involved changing hands here. Because, I live so far away from civilization, it makes no sense that there should even be scalpers where I live. Now, I've been in Walmart a couple times and I've actually seen scalpers in the store kind of scanning the shelves and, looking things up on their phone. This was maybe like a year ago, but I think it's really unlikely that a random collector or, a parent buying packs for their kids would be looking up a product online like that. Pretty sure the dude I saw was just looking at, what the current price on what was on the shelf was and what he could get for it. That was the last time I actually saw cards in that Walmart. But what I want to know is, how are these people finding out that there's even cards at these remote locations? Like, somebody has to be tipping them off. There has to be some kind of Pokemon conspiracy that I don't know about, aka one of those Discord restock servers or something like that. There has to be something going on here that's different, because a year and a half ago, this Walmart actually was pretty good for getting cards. When I could find them, I'd find like the Mimikyu EX box that actually had Evolving Skies in it. Now, I would buy those and actually rip them myself. Like I said, I don't hoard any sealed products. But I can also tell you, I travel a lot for work, for business, and I try to stop at every Walmart and Target and GameStop that I can, when I have time to. And I've kind of noticed the same thing. There's nothing. Nothing anywhere. And what that tells me is that the policies that places like Walmart, Target, GameStop are implementing to try to stop scalping are not working. People are still finding a way to get around it. And there's a good possibility it's from employees of those companies. I think these companies need to take a good look at their policies and figure out something that actually stops the scalpers from coming in and buying things for resale. Now, the flip side of this coin is there's not really any motivation for Walmart to do something like that. They don't care as long as the stock sells and they get their money. Actually, the more they sell, the better. Big corporations like that are really just concerned with their profit margins. They don't care about us, the collectors. But I remember reading about a local game store that actually would unseal, take the plastic wrap off of ETBs when selling them to try to prevent this resale problem. Now, personally, I think that maybe is a bridge too far. That's kind of not fair to people who actually have a sealed collection and they're holding their products long term. But somebody's got to do something, because I spend a lot of money on Pokemon cards, if you can't tell from the mail day here. And in the last year, I have barely bought any modern stuff whatsoever. The whole scalping situation has just turned me off to it completely, or I don't care anymore. I'm just collecting vintage and enjoying that. And I'm sure a lot of older collectors are kind of feeling the same way about this. And the worst part is, I know a lot of new fans, kids, are missing out on getting into this hobby. You know, why I am a collector right now in my 30s and spend, you know, 2 to 3 grand a month in Pokemon cards is because as a kid I was actually able to get a few packs and open packs and trade with my friends and enjoy the hobby. So I kind of feel like us adults, we're kind of ruining this hobby for the next generation of Pokemon fans. Let me know what you think in the comments about that. But that's kind of my hot take for the video today. Alright, so like I said, I promised to tell you what the pin and the screw were for. I actually used them to frame this for another video, like actually frame up the video so I could tell where to hold the card. I'm definitely not a professional YouTuber, I'm just a guy that spends a lot of money on old cards. So that's going to be it, folks. I'll take my tinfoil hat off now and get off my soapbox. Yeah, check out the description for links to channel sponsors if you want to support the channel, subscribe, and thanks so much for watching, folks.